what do you think our state assemblies need to do to be recognized by the de facto as a self-proclaimed, self-governing body?
Okay, so number one, it's not what I feel or what I think. It is what I have observed on a continuous basis, okay? So unless they're addressing you, then they don't really care about what we want to say about a specific situation to them. For example, I needed them to address me about the business for me to respond. Or if we are traveling freely, right? Unless they stop us and address us, if we try to get ahead of them and just, declare to them something like, hey, we just wanted to let you know we're here and, whatever. They don't receive that message. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like they just ignore you unless and until there's something that they want to address you about. Mm-hmm. Like they must solicit you. Then you must respond to them. So far, this has been my experience. I have observed this for years consistently on all fronts. So I'm not sure that they are going to receive this any differently. It seems like they should receive it differently because it's an assembly addressing them, but I'm not sure. I mean, we're dealing with brigands. Who knows what they're going to really do? So, we should be prepared for them maybe not to receive it that way. But they are, okay, let me put it to you this way. I sent a notice out to the Department of Transportation, DOT, because I thought that might clear up everything because the DMV is under the DOT.
Okay. So
this is my logical thought process of how I wanted to, declare us as traveling freely, right? And the response I got from them was belligerent. It was insulting, whatever. And also them just dismissing, very dismissive.
So did you send it personally for yourself or for the assembly?
I sent this for our family. So I sent it for our family. What I did was I sent a testimony in the form of an affidavit on behalf of our family to the DOT, and I had listed all our tags and everything because I just was like, y'all just want to know if you're swimming with sharks or with other living men, right? Probably, I don't know. So I just wanted them to be able to know who we are, right? To which I got this belligerent, offensive, whatever response. But when they ticket us, what I notice is that now, they know something's up, right? So they want to try to give us 10 offenses. The charges are crazy. It's not one, it's 9 charges, okay? 6 to 9. And then I rebut immediately, and I have a testimony in the form of an affidavit, and I rebut, and they immediately, I don't know if they immediately stand down. I will say I'm not going to their court. I can't appear if I wanted to. So I'm not going to make any effort to do that. And all of the, everything that I've addressed in that way, eventually, not before the court date, but eventually it's discharged. It comes off of our off the record.
Okay.
So it does work. It doesn't look like it worked before the court date.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're not going to
here. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they want to know. They just want you to be uncomfortable or whatever, But we can't appear in their court because we're not dead.
Mm-hmm.
So like I don't know what part of that I don't want to comprehend, but I think that it does get dismissed, So I'm not really sure how they're going to receive the assembly. Like I'm dying to find out. I am dying to find out. I think that before we do that, I would make sure. I don't know about everywhere. I can only speak on what I have observed on North Carolina. And on North Carolina, there's a lot going on. The records aren't properly done. Our assembly is in danger if they were to try to do this and notice and do the things that I'm doing. I've made sure my records are secured a certain way, for my family. And I've done things a specific way. And I recognize and have experienced a difference.
Okay.
If we make sure we do that on our national, international level, it would be international, right, across all the counties. I think that we'll be successful. But I think that there's too much corporate mindset on our assemblies, in my observation. And most people on American soil right now have never been business owners. And they've never actually had to face regulators, number one, anyone who's offering these licenses and things of that nature. They don't know what's required because they haven't operated in any kind of business capacity outside of being an employee, which is very compartmentalized. And it is my prayer and maybe my warning for the assemblies to recognize this. It's very important because our assemblies are, I don't know what everybody's assembly is doing. I know our assembly here on North Carolina is out of order. The records are not done the way that they should be. There is some misunderstanding that, you can operate with some kind of assumption that is very corporate-minded, okay? Corporate-minded thinking is the law of assumptions. It is not. That is 1,000,000% law merchant, and it is not merchant law. You must have the documentation done properly. You must operate on the facts, and this is something that I know, and I have had to face the de facto, and I've won, and I know that you cannot do that while you're guessing. You cannot do that on a prayer. You can't do that on your intentions in the same way. You must have the documentation, especially because we're representing and speaking for the people. It's not like if you're just only talking for yourself, that can be done one way. But when you are trying to represent a body of people, then you cannot do it like that. And it is something that I'm very concerned about, especially for our nation. And, everyone on all your nation states, you should be thinking about this and concerned about it. And I really, really want to emphasize that because everyone hasn't gone up against the de facto the way I have.
So is your warning for them to make sure the paper, the declarations are correct?
Make sure all your declarations are done properly. Make sure they're all sealed. Make sure you can see your thumbprint properly. Make sure you have autographed your name that's legible. Make sure it's in cursive. Make sure it's in the right color ink because jurisdiction matters for all of this. It's very important. Jurisdiction is everything. And if you are not operating in the correct jurisdiction, you're going to have a problem. And I'm not willing to test it because I already know it doesn't work. And they comprehend jurisdiction clearly. And they also comprehend affidavits. Clearly, they will respond to the law. They follow that order. And how is Anna successful? She operates in that, right? Mm-hmm. Otherwise, it wouldn't work. Like, a lot of people just think she isn't just halfway doing this. When she says that your intention matters, and so if you've done something with a clear, like, clean hands and good intentions, it's fine when you're doing it for yourself. But again, when you are doing this for a body of people, and our government's work is to protect the people and the assets, right? Mm-hmm. And if we're not, the assets are the paperwork. Mm-hmm. Make sure it's done right. So I'm just pointing that out.
Okay. Well, thanks, Niti.
Thank you.